Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of How HKW Would Book, where we take a potential cringe moment in professional wrestling and do our best to try and steer things away and give a better idea to the higher power. Alright, so what are we looking at today? You guys really don't want to start me off with something a little easier? Okay. Alright. So coming up this year at Wrestlemania, it looks like we're going to see a rematch between the Beast and the Big Dog. Ooh. Before we get into what we would hope we might see this year, let's get a little history out of the way first. First, I want to go back to Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker at Wrestlemania. It was a shocker to all of us when the Beast incarnate was the man who ended the streak. But let's talk about how he did it. It first took 1, 2 F5s that The Undertaker was able to kick out of. But on the third F5, 1, 2, 3, went the pinfall. We move forward a year to the first time that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar would come face to face, WrestleMania. Roman Reigns had won the Royal Rumble. Things were good for him. The truth is no fan wanted to see Roman Reigns win that night, aside from probably his family. And while I understand it was probably a disappointment for them, it was a real treat for us when Seth Rollins came down to the ring, cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, and won the championship. But before that happened, before Seth Rollins came down to the ring to cash in that title, Brock Lesnar did something to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns did something subsequently back. Brock Lesnar was able to hit 1, 2, 3 F5s on the Big Dog, and Roman Reigns kicked out 1, 2, 3 times. This is establishing something now. It's establishing that Roman Reigns is tougher than The Undertaker. I hate to be the one to bring it back up, but moving back forward again, Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. It wasn't long before the dead man did the favors, and we saw Roman Reigns getting his hand raised in victory. Now, Roman did the right thing. He bowed out of the ring quickly, came out back Monday night, and probably cut his best promo ever. Do we have a clip?
This is my yard now.
Yeah. Suffer and succotash, that's better than most of his promos. Okay, so now the history lesson is over, and let's get right to it. The first thing that we got to take advantage of, we're going to make things right for the WWE Universe going into Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, is the voice that carries on our narration. And luckily, we had this guy. Paul Heyman is probably the best talker in WWE, whether you're talking about wrestlers or anyone outside the ring. I would put him leagues above Michael Cole, and personally, while I love Kevin Owens, Paulie's got it. So, with a match 4 years in the making, Roman has risen to every challenge, okay? That's what we have to establish. That's what we have to make Michael Cole tell us week in and week out, unfortunately. The other thing we need to do is we make sure that we establish Brock Lesnar as a monster heel. So that's where we're at right now, where we need to be establishing that Brock Lesnar is an absolute monster. And how are we going to do it? Well, I got a couple of ideas. First of all, 205 Live, I'm sorry, but you're about to get invaded by the Beast. And what would look more impressive for Brock Lesnar than to just have every cruiserweight from 205 Live coming out there to try and take down the Beast as he hits F5 German suplex one time after another, taking out the cruiserweight. After that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a return, a very special return. the return of the Big Show. The Big Show has been looking so impressive lately. I mean, he was looking really impressive last time we saw him, then he got injured, and now the only pictures we've seen are a couple more tweets of him in the gym, and he looks in the best shape of his career. You know what that means we're going to do? We're going to have Brock give him a title shot. Everyone's going to be excited for Brock Lesnar versus the Big Show. These guys literally tore down the ring at SmackDown a few years back. And now, what are we going to do? We're going to shock you again when Brock Lesnar retires the Big Show. Now, when I say retires, it doesn't have to be a permanent thing. It doesn't have to be the Big Show is gone forever. However, this is Big Show's opportunity to give something huge back, and in a big way, with his own legacy. With Brock Lesnar bringing the Big Show out for a championship match on his return, and then proceeding to effectively end his career as far as any of us know, that would establish Brock Lesnar as a heel moving forward. The next person I want to bring out is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, sexual chocolate. So now that Mark Henry is all grown up and his hand has graduated and gone off to college, Mark Henry has decided to retire. This is a very public thing that Mark has done, and we're not talking about that time that Mark Henry duped all of us and John Cena into thinking he was retiring. No, we're talking about a real retirement. And although Mark Henry is ready to retire, that doesn't mean that Mark Henry isn't capable of still taking one or two more bumps. So have Mark Henry come out and give a real retirement speech. Have him do what he started to do several years ago, except this time, yeah, that music. Brock Lesnar is going to come out and absolutely destroy Mark Henry. I know it sounds kind of sad to see huge heroes of ours like the Big Show and Mark Henry, as well as all those cruiserweights, taking the fall, but we need to establish again just how dangerous Brock Lesnar is moving forward. Because up until this point, we've kind of seen Brock get watered down a little. It's not like he was able to just run over Samoa Joe, and we all know Braun Strowman can probably take it. On the other side of things, we have to get back to the big dog, Roman Reigns. Now, the whole problem with Roman Reigns is the fact that he's been shoved down our throats. How are we going to fix that? Well, by telling him what we all actually want to tell him. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have a little conversation. A look back on everything that they've gone through. Now, Roman by this time will already be scheduled to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And Seth is going to have some advice for the big dog. You can't take him. Seth has been in the ring with Roman, and Seth has been in the ring with Brock Lesnar. He's the very first person who's able to say effectively, Roman, I've had you, I've had Brock, I know which one of you is stronger, I know which one of you is faster, I know which one of you is more dangerous. Brock's going to beat you. The next thing is going to be Dean Ambrose. So about a week later, we're going to have Dean Ambrose come out, and Dean is going to talk to Roman. Now, luckily for us, Dean doesn't have to be healed up for this to happen. So Dean's going to talk to Roman, and we're going to have another little history lesson where we go back and remember that Dean has also fought against both Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And between the two of them, while Dean was able to hold his own for quite a while and even get a win over Roman Reigns, he definitely wasn't able to do anything against Brock Lesnar. After that, we've heard from Seth Rollins, we've heard from Dean Ambrose, so now it's time to hear from some other people. And I don't think there's a better time than this to bring out the dead man. We saw The Undertaker return at Raw 25, and that was great and all, but I don't know, he didn't really seem like himself. So we're going to bring The Undertaker back one more time. This time he doesn't need to wrestle. He can stay retired if he wants. However, the dead man does have some knowledge to impart on the locker room. So the Ultimate Ring General comes down to the ring to meet Roman Reigns. And this is time for The Undertaker to say his piece. He has been in the ring with Roman Reigns, and he has been in the ring with Brock Lesnar. He has had to face them when they had to be at their best, at WrestleMania, to face him. And what does The Undertaker say? Roman, you're not good enough to beat Brock Lesnar. Alright, so we're a couple weeks away from WrestleMania now, and now, after hearing it from not only his friends, but bona fide legends as well, he's hearing it from guys in the locker room, he's hearing it on social media, he's hearing it everywhere he turns. Roman Reigns is beginning to wonder, can he beat Brock Lesnar? So for the first time in a couple of years, we're finally seeing Roman Reigns shaken, uncertain, vulnerable. At this point, it's a good time to bring back one of our favorite feuds, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Now don't worry, don't worry, I'm not going to job out Braun Strowman to Roman Reigns. As a matter of fact, it's essential that we don't. Because this match is going to tell a very important story. We're going to have Roman Reigns go up against Braun Strowman, and he'll be doing fine. Good back and forth between the two. But finally, Roman has knocked down Braun Strowman. He's in the corner. Lock and load. Then he looks down at his fist, staring at it for a long time. Is this fist going to be enough to keep down Braun Strowman? Will this fist be enough to keep down Brock Lesnar? In just enough time for Braun to recover and keep Roman looking strong, Roman decides to go for it after all. Runs at Braun and is caught. Braun catches his fist just like that. Picks up Roman, slams him down. 1, 2, 3. At this point, things are looking pretty dire for Roman, and we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. Enter the Great, The Rock. So The Rock comes out to meet Roman Reigns, and now it's The Rock's turn to weigh in, because The Rock also has some history with the Beast. It was back in 2002 at SummerSlam. The Great One held what many consider to be his last legitimate WWE championship, and he put the title on the line against a very young Brock Lesnar, the next big thing. And Brock destroyed him. As a matter of fact, I would dare say that we didn't see Brock destroy anybody like that until he took apart John Cena. So The Rock comes out to meet his family, Roman Reigns. And I want to bring up again that these guys are related, because when The Rock looks at Roman Reigns, he has an important piece of advice for the big dog too. You need to back out. You're going to get hurt. That's not what any of us are expecting to hear out of The Rock, and it's certainly not what Roman Reigns would be expecting to hear. But it's definitely something that would continue to make the WWE Universe pop moving forward through this entire thing. For weeks now, we have heard from everyone from Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, The Undertaker, and now, of course, The Rock. And of course, through all of this, Paul Heyman will be making sure that it's very well known that Roman Reigns is not on the Beast level. Alright, here we are. Go home show, 1 week before WrestleMania. we have been hearing on social media, and it's important that WWE really takes advantage of their social media here. Facebook, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. Roman Reigns has a huge announcement for later tonight. Tonight, Roman Reigns plans on coming out and announcing that he's not going to face Brock Lesnar. Now, no one will really know what to make of this at first. Are we going to get a different Universal title match? Or is WWE pulling a Vince McMahon? Sorry, that's what I call it when you change something at the last minute. Pulling a Vince McMahon? So, is WWE going to pull a Vince McMahon and, bring in some other wrestler, like maybe Finn Balor, to have a championship match? No, of course not. They've been hyping this match all the way through, and we're going to need to see it forward. But we're going to need a little bit more if we're going to cheer for Roman Reigns, right? Okay. Alright, so Roman Reigns comes down to the ring, looks really somber, tells the WWE Universe he gets it. He understands why they've been booing all this time. He understands that he didn't pay the dues to them, to us, that he should have paid. And while he would love to go on to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, it's not like the last time. He didn't win the Royal Rumble. Shinsuke did. So, it's with a heavy heart that that's right, Daniel Bryan's music hits. Now that's going to be a shocker because we're going to be doing this on Raw, and we all know that Daniel Bryan is part of the SmackDown crew. But Daniel Bryan is probably the one guy in WWE who can say what we need him to say here. So Daniel Bryan comes down to the ring, and he looks at Roman Reigns and says, "Roman, you should be ashamed of yourself. How badly do you think I would love to have any match at WrestleMania? But I can't. You have the opportunity, Roman, that I wish I could have. And I'm asking you, please go through with it and face Brock Lesnar." Now, Roman Reigns is being given the opportunity here to take one step moving forward. It's not to beat Brock Lesnar in this step, it's just he's saying he's going to face Brock Lesnar. He starts to nod. He agrees with what Daniel is saying. And then Daniel announces that he has a surprise for Roman Reigns. A special guest for this go-home episode of Raw. Roman Reigns' daughter. Now, one thing that we can't really take away from Roman Reigns, whether we like him or not, is that Roman Reigns is known to be a really good dad. So it's time that we utilize that. Sorry, guys. It's kind of what WWE does. So, now that Roman Reigns sees his daughter come down to the ring, gets a little misty-eyed, his daughter gets in the ring, and she says, no, not to win for her, simply, "I believe in you, Dad." We've taken another step. We've moved another step closer towards Roman Reigns' redemption. And just as Roman embraces his daughter, we hear this. Okay, so here comes the pain. Brock Lesnar is heading to the ring, and he's on a warpath. Roman has enough time to get his daughter out of the ring while Brock grabs a hold of Daniel Bryan and does something. Now, I don't know what kind. This is kind of a murky area. We don't know exactly what WWE might allow as far as roughhousing between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan. But we do know that Daniel Bryan knows how to take bumps. He's a trained in-ring performer, and he has been cleared by most of the doctors out there. If there was ever an opportunity for WWE to get a feel for if Daniel Bryan might possibly be able to do a return, it would be with a one-off, maybe 2 moves by the Beast. That's not a bad way to look at it. And it could be in a very protected environment as well. Brock Lesnar wouldn't necessarily have to hit Daniel Bryan full force because a lot of the attention would still be on Roman Reigns getting his daughter out of the ring. So, as daughter heads out of the ring, Daniel Bryan gets hit, boom, F5. Alright, now the Beast turns his attention back towards Roman Reigns. Roman runs at Brock. Brock ducks around behind, grabs a hold, and takes Roman Reigns straight to Suplex City. Maybe 1 or 2 German suplexes. Not too much, though. We don't want to make Roman look like he's out of commission, at least not at this point. No, instead what we want to do is we want to have Brock sit up, camera zoom in right on that face, and we want to see that laugh. Brock Lesnar is laughing with that evil stare, and he has his eyes trained right on Roman Reigns' daughter. Now this is something that's going to be scary to, well, everyone. Brock Lesnar is a monster. He's a beast. What are we going to do when he gets his hands on this little girl? Daniel Bryan can try and run out, can try and stop him momentarily, but just immediately gets pushed down. And just as the Beast is about to get his hands on Roman's daughter, boom! Roman spear into Brock Lesnar. Roman yells at Daniel Bryan, "Get her out of here! Get her out of here!" And he turns back. Brock's starting to get back up. Roman charges at Brock Lesnar once again, spearing Brock Lesnar through the barricade. And now, more important than the WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and the WWE Universe have something to get behind. Parental love. We move on to WrestleMania, and hopefully they can have at least as good a match as they had before. And hopefully we've saved ourselves from a potential cringe moment. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll leave a like, leave a comment down below, and let us know what you think, or maybe what potential cringe moment you'd like to see us do next. And remember to hit subscribe. I'm Richard G. Mayer, and we'll see you next time.